Hello everyone, welcome to my final project for Kitaholic kits for the month of March. I am doing another 12 by 12 layout today, and I was really inspired by that background paper, which is just what I would consider the perfect mixed media paper because it's just got nice subtle washes of color without being too intense. So I loved working on top of it, and I knew as soon as I saw it that I wanted to do something on top of it. I am first off starting by matting my photo on some scrap pieces of paper that I actually had left over from earlier on in this month, and I liked how those little pieces of paper looked like with the star punched out of them. So I am going to use those, and I'm also going to add a pink one down the track. While I do that, it's nothing really special what I'm doing. I'll talk you through what my plans are for this layout. So as you can see at the beginning, I showed you I had all of these flowers that I had cut out of my silhouette. And what I had done is, this was actually a cut file from Kitaholic Kits from a while ago. I think it might have been 2021. If you search cut files in the exclusive subby group, then you should be able to see and find all of the previous cut files in there. So you have to subscribe to Kitaholic Kits, obviously. But what I did is, it was meant to be one block of flowers. I stuffed up something on my silhouette, and when it cut out, it actually, where all of the flowers sort of interacted with one another, it cut those lines. So first of all the flowers are separate, but you'll also be able to see on pretty much every flower there's a little chip taken out of it. But I thought, like, I went through all of the effort to cut it, I'm not going to go now and just discard it. So I'm going to use the individual flowers, and I'm going to back them on some matching paper, and then I am going to just try to hide those imperfections in my in the way that I place them on my layout. So you will see that happen down the track. I am now finished matting all of these papers under my photo, and I thought I would add a little strip of that checkered paper because I really like that paper on top of my photo. I am now ready to place my photo onto my layout, and I'm just propping that up on some foam tape, which is something I think I've done a lot this month. But yeah, so I didn't exactly know I wanted to place it, but I decided to kind of do it to the left and a little kind of in the middle, and I put it at an angle. So this is where I am now going, and I'm individually backing all of these little cut file flowers. And it was a labor of love, and it took a long time, but I really love how they look on the final layout. So I'm really happy I went through the effort. I did decide to use the back of these papers. So we got 3 of these papers in the kit. And I think they might be Doodlebug design. I'm not 100% sure. No, they're not. I actually can't remember what these papers are, but if you have a look on the Kitaholic Kids YouTube channel, you can see it. But so I decided to use the back of those papers because I've previously used the front A side of them as well. I then fussy cut them all, and it took a long time, and I kind of put together all of everything that I wanted to use in this kit, including this acrylic title piece that I just had in my stash. I didn't think I'd be able to use this anywhere else because it's kind of an odd title, but I thought it would go nicely if I called this layout Noteworthy Moments, and then I can do some journaling, which is just a little label cut from the cut apart sheet, and so I can do some journaling about this photo, and then I can use the noteworthy moments as like, why is this moment noteworthy? So that's the kind of journaling that I ultimately did. So I used the alpha that we got in the kit this month to spell out the word moments, and I've been really loving doing the mixture of text, like the mixture of scripty writing and block writing. I think it really makes titles seem interesting, and I didn't previously use a lot of titles in my layout, so I'm glad that I'm kind of inspired to do that. Now I am just starting to really build my clusters. So as you can see there, I'm tucking one of those little imperfect edges under my photo, and this is kind of how I'm going to hide all of those edges. I don't necessarily hide all of them perfectly well, but I do still, like, you can't really tell in the final layout because it does become a bit chaotic, is one way of putting it. So I am going to, my idea was to basically cluster these Freudian slip there, cluster these in sort of clusters of 3. And then also add in some of the ephemera die cut flowers. But I was very selective in which flowers I wanted to use because this layout is so pastel and so beautiful. I didn't want to get too bright with the extra flowers. So I did choose the more subtle toned flowers. But I'm now creating the second little cluster at the bottom of that little strip. And then I thought I would go up in the top left-hand corner and I would create another little flower cluster. And I'd already created one in the bottom right-hand corner, which was off camera, sorry about that. And I started a little cluster in the bottom right-hand corner. And then as I was looking at this layout, I was like, look, I kind of have a diagonal thing going. I'm going to stick with it. So ultimately what I decide to do is to create a bit of a flow of all of my embellishments diagonally up the page. And the ultimate outcome of that is that it ends up being looking very whimsical, and because of the pastel colors it looks very spring themed, which I really liked as well. Even though it's autumn here and this photo was taken in summer, I still love how spring themed this whole layout became. Now as I'm building my clusters, I'll have a talk to you about what this photo is about. So this is a photo of my daughter who went to my mum's house. So one thing that my mum and my daughter do together, or have done together, is when I do my crafting, she goes over to my mum's house, and they often do these little craft afternoons where they do like crafty afternoon things. And so this was her last day before she started pre-primary, which means that those weekdays, craft days, are going to be a lot less now because she'll be in school full time. And so what they did together is they made her a library bag that has her name on it, and she absolutely loves it. It looks so beautiful. As you can see, I have started to build my clusters. I took some punched out stars, and I'm going to actually add some more, like some smaller ones down the track. These ones are from my Project Life layout from the beginning of the month that I didn't finish. Well, I didn't use all of the big stars. And there it's all built up. I also used some of those acrylic hearts that we got in the kit, and I used some stickers that we got on the sticker sheet. I used glitter hearts. What else did I use? I punched out of that doodlebug paper. I punched some more hearts out of that checkered paper. And now I'm going to add my journaling. So as I said, I'm writing just about this moment and about what a big moment it is, because it's kind of the end of an era for Emma and for my mum. I think I've been saying I've been doing my underlining before I've been doing my journaling, but for this particular layout, I just didn't have the energy to do underlining first. So to draw my lines first, and so I decided to just embrace the messy. And again, I think it just contributes to the whole layout because it really looks a bit whimsical and chaotic, but in a pretty way. It sort of reminds me of just flowers floating through the breeze in spring. Adding my date, and then the last thing I'm adding are just a little bit of Black and Nouveau drops to bring in a bit of darkness, but not too much. I just wanted to add in a touch of darkness to this layout. And as you can see, I'm not adding many of these dots. It's just to kind of like fill in some gaps as well. So with that, my layout is done. I'm not going to do anything else with it because I don't want to smudge my Nouveau drops. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me this month. I will be back next month with some more projects. Thank you. Bye.